Let's start it with our first news. Alex Pereira vs Carlos Ulberg, a matchup that has completely shaken up the MMA world. The community is buzzing with excitement and debate, with opinions split right down the middle on what could be one of the most explosive striking battles in recent memory. Many fans and analysts are calling this potential showdown a technical masterpiece versus raw power. On one side, Carlos Ulberg is being praised for his precision, sharp combinations, and disciplined approach to striking. On the other, Alex Pereira's freakish knockout power and fearless aggression make him a nightmare for anyone who stands in front of him. During a recent podcast, former UFC fighters Renato Moicano and Gilbert Burns discussed the stylistic contrast between the two. They agreed that Ulberg's striking is more methodical and technically refined, while Pereira possesses that rare, game-changing power that can end a fight in an instant. Moicano noted, Ulberg might be more technical, but Pereira only needs one shot to change everything. The conversation around this matchup has also sparked talks about the future of the light heavyweight division. With Pereira teasing a potential move to heavyweight, speculation has emerged about an interim light heavyweight title fight between Yuri Prochazka and Carlos Ulberg. While nothing is officially confirmed, the possibility of such a bout has captured the imagination of fight fans worldwide. Meanwhile, Magomed Ankalaev's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, addressed the ongoing tension between Pereira and Ankalaev. He claimed that much of the animosity seen online and during interviews was simply fight promotion and not genuine bad blood. However, Pereira seems to disagree. Since their last encounter, Poatan has continued to mock Ankalaev across social media, keeping the rivalry alive in the public eye. From a matchmaking standpoint, opinions vary. Some believe the UFC should book Prochazka vs Ulberg for the interim title, while others argue Pereira should defend his belt before moving up in weight. Moicano humorously added that Ankalaev could face Khalil Rountree next, joking that it would be a tough stylistic challenge after Ankalaev's recent knockout loss. At the end of the day, the question remains, what's next for Alex Pereira? Should he stay at light heavyweight and test his legendary striking against a fast-rising contender like Carlos Ulberg? Or should he chase history by moving up to heavyweight in pursuit of a third championship belt? Fight fans, the stage is set and the debate is just getting started. Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out and ensures you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Former UFC bantamweight champion Petr Yan has officially accepted Merab Dvalishvili's callout for a rematch this December, setting the stage for a high-stakes showdown that could define the division's end-of-year drama. The announcement came shortly after Dvalishvili's dominant victory over Corey Sandhagen, a performance that once again solidified his reputation as one of the most relentless champions in UFC history. Yan, who previously lost to Dvalishvili in a grueling 5-round battle, claims he was far from his best during their first encounter. Speaking about that loss, Yan admitted, "I was only at 50% in that fight. I was compromised and couldn't perform the way I should have. This time, fans will see a completely different version of me." Determined to reclaim his spot among the elite, the former champion is hungry for redemption and confident that a December bout will give him the chance to rewrite the narrative of their rivalry. Meanwhile, Dvalishvili, who currently sits atop the bantamweight division, has his sights set on breaking records. With 3 successful title defenses already under his belt, the machine is aiming to achieve a 4th before the year ends. Doing so would move him past legends like Dominic Cruz and Aljamain Sterling, establishing him as one of the most successful champions in the division's history. His unrelenting pace, wrestling pressure, and seemingly endless cardio have made him a nightmare matchup for anyone at 135 pounds. There's also been growing speculation about a potential super fight between Dvalishvili and Alexander Volkanovski, a clash that has captured fans' imaginations. However, despite the hype, Dvalishvili himself isn't convinced. He recently stated that while he respects Volkanovski immensely, his focus remains on dominating his own weight class and continuing to build his championship legacy. Adding another layer of complexity, his close friend and former training partner Aljamain Sterling is now competing in the featherweight division, pursuing his own championship ambitions, something that makes a Volkanovski matchup even less likely for Dvalishvili in the immediate future. The UFC is reportedly targeting UFC 323, scheduled for December 7, as the potential date for this highly anticipated rematch. Both fighters have expressed enthusiasm and readiness for a quick turnaround, provided there are no lingering injuries. Yan stated confidently, "I've been waiting for this chance. I'm ready to fight in December, and I know it's going to be a great and exciting fight. This one will be different." With redemption, legacy, and championship history all on the line, Petr Yan vs Merab Dvalishvili 2 could close out the year as one of the most compelling fights in the bantamweight division's history. Move on to another news. Conor McGregor has officially accepted an 18-month suspension under the UFC's anti-doping policy following multiple violations related to missed testing requirements. The decision, announced by Combat Sports Anti-Doping (CSAD), the organization now overseeing the UFC's in-house testing program, marks another controversial chapter in McGregor's storied career. However, the Irish superstar will be cleared to return to competition in early 2026, just in time for the highly anticipated UFC White House card scheduled for June 14 of that year. According to the SAD's official statement, McGregor failed to submit required testing samples on 3 separate occasions: June 13, September 19, and September 20 of 2024. Each instance was classified as a whereabouts failure, meaning McGregor failed to accurately report his location when testers attempted to collect samples. Under the UFC's anti-doping program, 3 such failures within a 12-month period are treated as a violation equivalent to a positive test. While the infractions counted against him, officials noted that McGregor was not in active competition and was still recovering from injury during that time. This fact was taken into consideration, leading to a reduced penalty, 18 months instead of the full 24-month suspension typically imposed for similar cases. Reports indicate McGregor fully cooperated with investigators and accepted responsibility, helping expedite the resolution process. The suspension, while significant, will not interfere with McGregor's long-discussed return to action. The former double champion has repeatedly stated that his comeback fight will take place at the UFC White House event, a historic card slated for summer 2026. By that time, McGregor will have completed his ineligibility period and will be free to compete again. The ruling, however, reignited debate over the fairness and practicality of the UFC's drug testing requirements. Veteran MMA journalist Ariel Helwani voiced strong criticism of the policy, calling it crazy that fighters, who are classified as independent contractors, must report their whereabouts 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year through a mobile app. Helwani argued that such expectations are unreasonable and blur the line between contractor and employee status. If you're required to tell your employer where you are every single day of the year, that makes you an employee, not an independent contractor, Helwani said. Fighters shouldn't have to report their every move. It's intrusive and exhausting. He also pointed out that some athletes have received strikes simply for being on vacation or traveling unexpectedly, not for any attempt to evade testing. It's got to be incredibly annoying, Helwani added. Sometimes it's not about hiding, it's just life happening. While McGregor's case highlights the strictness of the UFC's anti-doping system, it also underscores the challenges fighters face in balancing privacy, compliance, and accountability. As of now, McGregor's path back to the Octagon is clear, and all eyes will be on his long-awaited 2026 comeback. Move on to another news. Despite his recent loss to Merab Dvalishvili, top UFC bantamweight contender Corey Sandhagen remains steadfast in his belief that he has what it takes to become a world champion. Following the tough defeat, Sandhagen released an emotional statement on Tuesday, addressing both his fans and critics. In his message, he expressed gratitude for the support he has received throughout his career and reaffirmed his confidence in his skills and future in the sport. "Yo, what's up guys?" Sandhagen began in a heartfelt video shared on social media. "I just wanted to give a quick thank you to everyone who supported me, the people in my life who mean a lot to me and help me do this thing. I really appreciate all of you." He went on to reflect on the fight itself, admitting that he had re-watched the bout against Dvalishvili and still felt it was a contest he could have won. "I watched the fight last night because I couldn't sleep," he said. "And honestly, that's an absolutely winnable fight. I just have to not almost get knocked out in the second round." Sandhagen also gave credit to Dvalishvili for his performance, acknowledging the champion's relentless pressure and drive. "Congrats to Merab for almost doing what he said he was going to do, but not quite," he remarked with a hint of defiance. "He's a good face for the division, and I'm proud of that dude." Still, the message from Sandhagen was clear, his confidence remains unshaken. "I absolutely still believe in myself and that I'll be champion," he declared. "Believing in yourself is part of the job, and I'll never stop thinking that I'm going to touch gold." His words reflected a deep resilience and mental toughness that have long defined his career. Sandhagen's loss to Dvalishvili came after months of anticipation and was viewed by many as a potential title eliminator. While the defeat was a setback, his performance showcased flashes of brilliance, including his sharp striking and ability to adapt under pressure. Even in defeat, Sandhagen has earned respect for his composure, humility, and determination to keep evolving. As one of the most talented and technically gifted fighters in the bantamweight division, Sandhagen's path to a title shot may have taken a detour, but his confidence in reaching the pinnacle of the sport remains unwavering. He ended his message with a simple yet powerful note to his supporters: "Peace. I love you guys. Bye." Whether some view it as resilience or delusion, one thing is certain: Corey Sandhagen isn't done chasing gold. Move on to another news. Ilia Topuria has officially confirmed his next fight, and it's against none other than Paddy Pimblett. The reigning UFC featherweight champion revealed new details about the long-awaited grudge match during an interview with Setanta Sports Georgia, even sharing part of a private conversation he had with UFC President Dana White about the fight's approval. The announcement sent shockwaves through the MMA community, reigniting one of the sport's most heated rivalries. Topuria, known for his no-nonsense attitude both inside and outside the cage, didn't hold back as he discussed the matchup. "This is the fight fans have wanted for a long time," he said, "and now it's finally happening." He went on to explain that Dana White personally gave him the green light after weeks of back-and-forth discussion discussions with the UFC brass. While he didn't disclose the exact date or location, he hinted that the fight is likely to headline a major pay-per-view card, possibly in early 2026. Beyond the hype, Topuria made it clear that this fight carries deep personal meaning for him. The Georgian-born Spanish fighter expressed long-standing animosity toward Pimblett, stemming from comments the English star made years ago regarding the 2008 Georgian tragedy. "Those words will never be forgotten," Topuria stated firmly. "He disrespected my country and my people. This fight is personal. It's not about belts, rankings, or records, it's about pride." The rivalry between the two fighters has been brewing for years, often spilling over onto social media where both men have exchanged insults. What began as online banter has evolved into genuine hostility, and Topuria now intends to settle the score inside the octagon. Coming off a spectacular knockout victory over Charles Oliveira, Topuria is entering the matchup at the peak of his powers. Confident and motivated, he promised fans that Pimblett will meet the same fate. "What I did to Oliveira," he said, "I will do to Paddy, only worse." According to Topuria, Dana White's reaction to the matchup was enthusiastic. "Dana told me, this is the fight people want to see. Let's make it happen," Topuria revealed. The UFC president reportedly views it as one of the most marketable fights of the year, given the contrast between Topuria's ruthless efficiency and Pimblett's flamboyant, crowd-pleasing persona. As for Pimblett, the Liverpudlian has yet to issue an official response, though insiders suggest he's already begun training for the clash. With Topuria's power, precision, and personal motivation on one side, and Pimblett's charisma and grappling on the other, this fight is shaping up to be one of the most emotionally charged matchups in recent UFC history. For Ilia Topuria, this isn't just another title defense, it's payback. Move on to another news. Arman Tsarukyan, one of the UFC's most promising lightweight contenders, has opened up about his strategy for his upcoming fight against Dan Hooker, and he isn't holding back. Speaking in a recent interview on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, Tsarukyan made it crystal clear what his approach will be inside the octagon: relentless wrestling for the entire 5 rounds. "I want to send a message to Dan Hooker," Tsarukyan said confidently. "He better train to defend wrestling, because I'm going to wrestle him for the full 25 minutes. The Armenian-Russian standout emphasized that his goal isn't just to win but to dominate, showcasing the elite grappling that has made him one of the most feared fighters in the division. "I'm going to pressure him from the start," he continued. "I'll mix my striking with takedowns, control the pace, and break him down mentally and physically." Helwani pointed out that Tsarukyan had previously predicted an early knockout, to which Arman responded with a grin, "You never know. I might surprise him. I can strike too. I like to keep my opponents guessing. But make no mistake, my main focus will be wrestling. I'll make him think about takedowns every second." Tsarukyan's confidence stems from his recent performances, where he has showcased a mix of explosive power, endurance, and tactical precision. His wrestling-heavy approach has proven nearly impossible for most of his opponents to handle. However, against a seasoned striker like Hooker, Tsarukyan understands that adaptability will be key. "He's a good fighter, experienced, but I'm better everywhere," he said. "I've got more tools, more hunger, and more to prove." Beyond the Hooker fight, Tsarukyan already has his sights set on a bigger target: Ilia Topuria. He revealed that once he secures the victory over Hooker, his plan is to call out Topuria for a title fight early next year, possibly in January or February. "I want to make a strong statement in Qatar," Tsarukyan declared. "After I beat Hooker, I'll challenge Ilia for the belt at the start of next year. That's my goal." For Tsarukyan, the Hooker fight is not just another matchup, it's the stepping stone toward championship gold. His message to fans and opponents alike is clear: he's coming for the top, and he plans to do it his way through discipline, dominance, and an unbreakable wrestling game. Move on to another news. Sean Strickland, the outspoken former UFC middleweight champion, has officially tied the knot, and in true Strickland fashion, his wedding celebration was anything but traditional. Known for his wild personality, unapologetic honesty, and rebellious spirit, Strickland managed to turn what is typically a calm, romantic occasion into something that perfectly reflected his larger-than-life persona. The fighter shared glimpses of his big day through clips on his Instagram stories, giving fans an up-close look at how he celebrated the occasion. Instead of tuxedos, champagne toasts, and slow dances, Strickland's version of a wedding reception involved firing guns and riding motorcycles alongside his new bride. The video showed him revving up his bike with his wife seated behind him, both of them beaming with excitement. The next clip featured Strickland at a shooting range, unloading rounds into targets, a moment that quickly went viral among MMA fans. "Most people cut a cake. Sean Strickland fires a rifle," one fan commented on social media, perfectly summarizing the fighter's unconventional approach. Another joked, "Only Sean could make a wedding look like a scene from an action movie." For Strickland, this wedding wasn't about extravagance or formality, it was about staying authentic to who he is. Those close to him say that's exactly what makes the fighter so unique. He's never been one to follow the crowd or care about public perception, and his wedding day proved no different. Sources close to the couple revealed that the ceremony itself was small and private, attended only by a few close friends and family members. But the post-wedding celebration? That was pure Strickland chaos: loud, unapologetic,
energetic and full of adrenaline. In his own words, Strickland reportedly joked, "You think I'd do a fancy wedding? Nah, man, I just wanted to ride, shoot, and celebrate with the woman who puts up with me." The humor and humility in his tone reflected a side of Strickland that fans rarely see, a mix of toughness, sincerity, and genuine affection. The MMA community responded with a mix of amusement and admiration. Fellow fighters and fans flooded his social media with congratulations, while others couldn't help but laugh at how on-brand the celebration was. Whether you love him or hate him, Sean Strickland continues to live life entirely on his own terms, and his wedding day was no exception.